Guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to use hex codes inside Cricut Design Space to increase your color combinations depending on what colors you're looking for. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how to actually use the hex color converter when you're working with RGBs. So I'm going to bring this over here so you can see it. So anytime I'm working on something and I need a specific color, so I'm not sure, I know it's in, let's say, the red or the blue or the purple family, but I'm not really sure what color purple or red or blue it is. You have what you call a RGB to hex color converter. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this RGB to hex.net website that you can go to that will allow you to get the hex code when you're working with the RGB. Now, for those that are not familiar with an RGB, I'm going to show you a shape here or an image here in Cricut Design Space. So in Cricut Design Space, if I upload an image, and I'm going to get one with multiple colors. Let's do this ball here. And we're going to go ahead and add that to our canvas. So what you see here is you have all these different layers that are all the different colors inside Cricut Design Space that make up this actual image, okay? Or the colors that are used to make up that image. When you want to go in and change a color, so let's say I click on the football here and I want to change this color. Normally we go to colors and we click on advanced. When we can't find what we're looking for here, we click on advanced, and then we can actually click on these colors here to change the color that we want to change to whatever color we want to change it to. What you're looking at the bottom here is what we call a hex code, okay? So if I wanted to use this color outside of Cricut Design Space, then all I would need is the hex code, and then I could change whatever image I'm working on outside of Cricut Design Space to that color that I selected from inside Cricut Design Space. You can also use a color that you find outside of Cricut Design Space and bring that hex code into Cricut Design Space and use that color if you don't find the color here, okay? So I'm going to give you an example. So you saw I went here and I changed the color just by selecting it here, okay? But let's say that I have this football image outside of Cricut Design Space. I want to use these same colors, but I'm not really sure what colors they are. So you could come and you could copy the hex code, and all you have to do is highlight it and Control C, and that's going to highlight that color for you. Now, if I were to go into Microsoft PowerPoint, and I'm just going to paste that color code there, then I can use this color code outside of Cricut Design Space. So I'm just going to insert a shape in PowerPoint. And I want to make that color the same color that I got from Cricut Design Space. What I can do is I can right click and say Format Shape. And I'm going to come down here on the right hand side up under the Format Shape area. And I'm going to click on the color here. And then I'm going to select More Colors. Okay. And what you're looking at is the RGB codes that make up this blue. And you're also looking at the hex code that will make up that blue. So if I wanted to change this color to the same color that I was using inside Cricut Design Space, I would just take that number here and type it in. You want to make sure that you do go ahead and leave that pound sign. So we're going to go E21441A. We're going to hit OK. And there's that color outside of Cricut Design Space, okay? So you look at Cricut Design Space, there is the color there. And now you look in PowerPoint, and there is the color as well, okay? Another thing is if I insert an image, or let's say I find an image on the internet, and I'm just going to use, let's see, cartoons for kids. So I'm going to bring up an image that I find outside of Cricut Design Space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the print screen key on my keyboard, which is the PRT space SC key on my keyboard. And it's right up above on my laptop. It's right up above my backspace key. And I'm just going to highlight this image. And that's just giving me the ability to take a snapshot. So you can use Snagit or print screen or the snippet tool. And I want to, let's say I wanted to make an eye similar to what you see here. Then I could take this and I could copy and paste. And this is not going to be exact, but this is just going to be an example. But what I could do is I could take this outer part of my circle, and then I could come over to my format shape, and I can choose eyedropper, and I can put that eyedropper on that greenish color, and it's going to color my circle, square, or whatever similar to the color that I've actually selected from the picture. Now, if I wanted to get this more aqua bluish greenish color of the eye, I could get that as well. I could just click the inside of the eye, go back over to my eyedropper, select that kind of bluish color, and you'll see the little square here. And that square is actually allowing me to select what part of that aqua color that I want to grab. So let's say I want to grab that, and it tells you it's actually teal, and it will color in the circle. Now I have this code that I can use inside Cricut Design Space. So what I'm going to do is select that color. I'm going to go to more colors, and here is the hex code. Now I can take this hex code and Control C and go right over to Cricut Design Space. And I'm going to click back here on my color, and I'm going to Control V as in Victor. And I'm going to put that color right inside Cricut Design Space. And it changes my football to the color that I just took from Microsoft PowerPoint. Okay, so I wanted to show you how to use hex codes because there are lots of color code combinations. And so you can see here inside my Facebook group today, I uploaded all these hex codes. That's what these are. So if you wanted to use any of these colors inside Cricut Design Space or Microsoft PowerPoint or whatever software you have, all you need to do is to get the hex code for that particular color. So if I wanted to use any of these colors inside Cricut Design Space, I can use the hex code to get those colors. So here we have, let me take a snippet here of this bluish color here. And it is 8A8BBD, and it looks like an F. I didn't do a very good job with getting these colors, so give me 1 second here. Could have done better. Okay, so if I want to use that blue color inside Cricut Design Space, that hex code is all I need. I'm going to highlight this, and I'm going to type in that hex code, 8A8BBDF. And there's the blue color from that hex code. Okay, so when you're in doubt about a color, or if you have someone that says, you know, I want this color right here, and you're not sure what color that is, and you go into Cricut Design Space and you click on the image and you're looking for the green family, but you're not really sure what green that is, because notice this hex code is going to change depending on where I click, because the color is going to change. So you're not really sure if you're giving them the color they ask for, but if you want to narrow down what color it is they're asking for, just take a copy of the image. Take a copy of that image, and if you have software like Microsoft PowerPoint or any type of graphic design type software where you can get the hex code or the RGB code, then that will give you the color combination. Now, when I was showing you this RGB to hex, there are times that you may not know what the hex code is. You can use the RGB code and put it into this converter and tell it to convert to hex, and it'll give you the hex code. So I'm going to show you how that's done. If I'm in Microsoft PowerPoint, all right, so if I'm in Microsoft PowerPoint, and let's say that I see a portion of this image that I may want to use. So I'm going to click on that image. Let me do a little square here so that I can get this image or what have you. Okay, so if I want to take this and I want to get the hex code from something in here, or let's say I don't have the, excuse me for that, I apologize about that. But let's say I go here and I click on eyedropper and I get this pinkish light color. And now when I go to this pinkish light color, let's say that I click on more color and I don't have a hex. All I have is a RGB. So that's 233.79, 198. That's the RGB code. Now all I have to do, I have the RGB code. I want to find out what the hex code is so I can use it inside Cricut Design Space. If I don't have access to the hex code, I can come here and type in those numbers, 233, 79, and 198. And then select Convert to Hex. When I do that, it's going to give me what the hex code is. So if I take that and copy it, and now I go back to Microsoft PowerPoint, when I look at Microsoft PowerPoint, this is the number that I got from the RGB to hex converter. And now when I go here, I can see if it matches. And it does, E94FC6. Okay, so anytime you only have a RGB code, you cannot put an RGB code inside of Cricut Design Space. So I'm going to show you here. There's no room for an RGB code. Cricut Design Space only allow hex codes, and that's what you're seeing here at the bottom. Okay, so you only want to replace the numbers and letters here, not your special character. You always want to start with that special character, but then you would just pop that number in and it will give you the hex code. Okay, so I wanted to come out here and show you that. So for all of the times that you saw an image and you weren't sure what the colors are, you can take a snapshot, of that image, upload it to your computer, and then you can use any type of graphics software, Microsoft PowerPoint, that's what I use. But anything that will allow you to get the RGB code. You just want to be able to see what color it is. And once you see what color it is, if you only have the RGB, and the RGB stands for red, green, and blue. So that's what RGB stands for, because red, green, and blue make up a lot of the colors that we work with. Those are the primary colors. And so if you use this 233 form of red and this 79 form color of green and this 198 color of blue, it will make this color here, which gives you the hex code. And the good thing about it is you can just click copy. And then when you go to Cricut Design Space, let's say I want to change that circle now. All I have to do is highlight everything minus my special character and Control V is in Victor. And there we have it. Okay. So I do want you to understand how you can, find the colors, be it the RGB or the hex code when you're working with images, and how you can bring those hex codes into Cricut Design Space and use them in Cricut Design Space. You are not limited to just what you see here in Cricut Design Space up under Advanced. As long as you have the hex code, you can pop that right in here and you can get the same color that you're looking for. And if you only have the RGB code and you're not familiar with what the hex code would be, then you can come to this website, Rgb To Hex Net, and type in the RGB number, the red and green and blue number, and it will give you the hex code. And then you just copy it and take it to Cricut Design Space. And I can do that with anything. If I wanted to come here and take a snippet of this, I would just take it over to Microsoft PowerPoint, pop that right on in, just like that. And then if I wanted to get what this RGB code or hex code in Microsoft PowerPoint, that's one of the great things I like about it, is because it gives you both. It's not just one or the other. And then all I have to do is click on eyedropper, and there's the purplish color. Now, I will tell you that there is a variation of purples that's going to make up this purple. So you will see when I leave my cursor laying there, it gives you the RGB code and it tells you that's dark purple. Now, you may click somewhere else in there and get a lighter form of purple, because sometimes there's multiple colors that make it up. But for this one, it's pretty much straightforward, dark purple. And when I click on the eyedropper, it will automatically color that for me. And then again, if I go back to Microsoft PowerPoint and click on more colors, I can get the red, green, and blue color combination, or I can get the hex code. I cannot take the RGB into Cricut Design Space, but I can certainly copy this hex code and Control C on my keyboard, and then go back to Cricut Design Space and select whatever part I want to change. Click on it. Control V is in Victor, and there you have it. Okay. So that's primarily what I wanted to talk to you about, is how to use the RGB codes to convert to a hex code that will allow you to use it in Cricut Design Space, because a lot of people don't know about hex codes. And I know that this is going to only increase your crafting ability, because now you can get exact colors, the exact color of an image, instead of trying to guess what color that is. And I compare this to fonts. So when you're trying to find a font, you go to what the font and you try to find the font, based on an image. You're doing the same thing here with this RGB to hex converter by using the RGB code to convert it over to a hex code, so that you can get that same color combination in Cricut Design Space. All right. So that's it, guys. I just wanted to talk to you about that and help you to broaden your color scheme inside Cricut Design Space, even though you're limited to hex codes. So anytime you see this type of alphanumeric special character combination, when it comes to a color, it is called a hex code. Okay. And even if you go to this website, you can look here and it tells you, what does RGB to hex converter do? Convert a hex value to a RGB. So just like you can convert an RGB to a hex, you can also convert a hex to a RGB. So it works similar. Okay. If you have any questions about this process, guys, please feel free. Drop me a comment. I do answer all comments. And if you really did gain some knowledge about hex codes and RGBs from this video, and you like this tutorial, then please give me a like for this video, because that's how it helps me to know whether or not my video was helpful, because some people don't like to do comments. All you have to do is just a little quick thumbs up to like the video. Excuse me. So that's it, guys. If you're currently in my Facebook group, Candoris's Cricut and Creative Crafters, I want to thank you so much for following me on Facebook. If you would like to join my group, it is a private group. You can send me a Facebook group request to Candoris's Cricut and Creative Crafters. My group is easily identifiable because I have a crochet doll. And I will show you here right quickly. Don't know why my computer is acting so slow today. But this is my group, Candoris's Cricut and Creative Crafters. You can send a Facebook group request and we can get you added to our group. And if you're currently subscribed to my YouTube channel, I want to thank you guys so much for subscribing to my YouTube channel. And if you're not, and this is your first time seeing me and you like my method of teaching, which I do put out, I try to put out several tutorials monthly in regards to different crafting projects to help you with getting started and to increase your knowledge when it comes to all the different crafts. Then please go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. If you're already subscribed, guys, thank you so much for supporting me via YouTube as well. All right, guys, that is it. That is all I wanted to talk to you about, which was converting RGBs to hex codes so that you can use those inside Cricut Design Space. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And you guys have a great night.